be there. Okay, so okay, people, today is Q&A. You get to ask questions. I'm not doing personal things. So if you're asking me about yourself and you got an ache somewhere or you got, I don't do that. You can get that by Ask Bonnie. But today you got, ask questions that are relative to everybody. What's happening in the world, what's happening in life. Yeah. Also, we've had some cool interviews, really cool interviews too. So that you'll find our interview stuff on our website, I think. It may or may not be true. Alrighty, yep, I can do that, Cynthia. People who drain it. Yeah. Energy vampires, yeah. Okay, so energy vampires, it doesn't mean that they're actually vampires. But I'm sure everyone's experienced where you've been with people and you just, when you leave, you feel like completely drained. Those are like energy vampires. Some people aren't really aware that they're doing that. Oftentimes people that are talking, like talking and just do a lot of talking about stuff, they can be like an energy drain on you. That's like an energy vampire. So also on an energy level, just to kind of come closer to what Cynthia's asking, when we're experiencing energy vampires, what happens is it comes from an unconscious place of neediness. Okay, someone's needing or wanting attention. It comes from places of insecurity, and so people literally will hook in. People will cord in, and then they literally pull your energy, drain your energy. Okay, you'll know if you're around that happening because you will feel depleted. You will feel tired. You'll feel exhausted. When you're around people, you'll start to feel the drain happening. Like if you're around someone who's doing that to you, you will feel your body getting more tired. It almost like feels like for real. You can kind of feel like your whole energy just feels like it's just going, like it is draining out. That's because it probably is if you are around someone who is what we call the energy vampire. Okay, again, they're not like vampires, like not true vampires. Okay, here's another question. Here we go. Okay, I understand we create everything at some level. So when we are done with the experience and feel like we have learned it all, how do we know that? That's a really good question. Here's how you really know, okay? What happens, the evolving of a soul, the carrying over of the wounding, okay? This is, and then also the knowing that you create your reality. You'll know you're done with a particular issue if when you think about it, you can't even find the thoughts. There is no more emotional frequency. There's no reaction whatsoever. If you've had an experience, okay, so even though you understand all this, here's the thing, people understand these things in logically, but you don't have it in your body. It's not anchored in viscerally. You don't know it. You understand it, okay? So it takes time for you to really pull out of being asleep, being in the fog, and you have to really want it as well. You're not going to just wake up and automatically understand the teachings, okay? But what happens though is when you pay attention to your experiences, and let's just say that you understand the work, that you understand that when you have a reaction, it's all about you, that reaction is your doorway into the subconscious, then you use your reactions to drop into the emotion, okay? And when you drop into an emotion, you're tapping into lots of past lives, the carryover emotions that you've been dealing with for eons of time. The way to know if you're done with something, with a particular issue, is when you think about what was happening for you. Are you still feeling any grab in the belly? Are you feeling any tightening in the belly or even in your heart? Are you feeling any kind of emotional reaction? If you are, You're not done. You didn't unravel it, okay? Bottom line, you did not unravel it, okay? So the key is, it's all about the emotion. How is it making you feel? That's how we recreate over and over, because I feel bad, and you abandoned me, you reject me, you betrayed me, you cheated on me, you stole from me, whatever. It all creates emotion. That emotion is what we're clear. When we clear that emotion, game over. Done. It's pretty darn cool. Okie dokie. Okay, emotions starting. Okay, hang on. Here's another one. Okay, are emotions stored in subconsciousness? Sensations access to unconsciousness. What's in superconsciousness, our oversoul? Okay, yes. All right. So your emotions, in this lifetime, all the emotions that you haven't released, that you haven't completely surrendered to, will carry over in your soul energy, your soul imprint. Okay. And you're going to carry that into your next incarnation. And that energy is in the subconscious. Therefore, the subconscious is what dictates your reality. All right. So if you got these emotions and you've got carryover from past lives, let's just say that a big one would probably be something like, like a betrayal, like your partner cheated on you and you flipped out. Okay. So you have this feeling of betrayal. So guess what's going to happen? You're going to recreate betrayal in this lifetime because it's stored in your emotional body, in the subconscious. Okay. Now the difference, like with your super consciousness, this is what I call it. It's the highest level of who you are before you go back into total oneness with creation. Okay. This is the highest level of you. It's not storing your emotions. Your emotions are being stored in your soul, the aspect of the soul that incarnates. So remember, you've got your higher levels, you've got your oversoul levels, God self levels, you got the superconscious levels. All of these are actually you. It's all you. Nobody but you. Okay. So that's why when you're connecting and communicating, you want to go direct to your own self. Okay. These misperceptions about the belief systems, misperceptions about God and creation and creator and all of that are misperceptions. Okay. Unfortunately. And when you are actually getting guidance, when you're, being watched over, taken care of, protected, it's all you doing it. Okay. Unless you're calling in external beings on the astral planes, you're the one that's handling, doing everything. There's nobody else. It's you. Okay. That's how you are, connected. You connect with your own self. You're praying to your own self. Your own self is what's connecting you with other soul people, soul family, co-creating experiences, drawing to you, bringing to you the opportunities to unravel your wounding. That's what it's all about, people. I hate to break it to you, but it's really true. It's all about the soul evolving, about the soul waking up. It's about the soul going back into oneness. And part of that journey is to know thyself in all ways. This is why I have created the Know Thyself program. It is a modern day of the ancient teachings of Know Thyself. Okay. And again, if those of you who don't know me, I did not learn from other teachers, healers. I always went direct. Always. Okay. I've also spent time in Israel, like 3 months, a month at a time, 4 weeks. I've traveled all over. I've been all to the places where Jesus was. I've gotten direct communications with that, and lots of other things that throughout my life. Okay, so learning how to navigate this world and finding what's the absolute truth, not what some made up belief systems, but the truth, the absolute. That's what I'm after. That's all I care about. If it's anything less than that, I'm not interested. That's why I never studied with anybody, because nobody was clear. I'm not saying I'm clear. I'm just saying for me to go to somebody else, you got to be fucking clear. Okay. No one was. No one. All right. Hang on. What was that? What? Oh, okay. Hang on. Here's a question. Okay. When someone dies, do they automatically go to a place of peace? No. No. Okay. You're not going to like this one. Okay. Depending on people's beliefs It's all about beliefs, and none of them are true or real. Okay? Okay, you're going to love this one. Back in the 80s, when I was teaching psychic classes, I used to take people out into the wilderness, and we would do things working on the astral planes and showing them and teaching them the belief systems. Okay, so people who believe in heaven and hell have co-created a frequency of heaven and hell, all of it, purgatory, all belief systems. Okay, if you're, into Muhammad or the different countries and different beliefs, they all have their own, and I promise you everyone has their belief system that people will go into. But is it the truth? No. Okay, so your belief systems will take you where you believe. Not always. Sometimes people don't buy into their beliefs after they've died. Then they will go into the light and continue at that soul level of evolving, that type of thing. And you're shown your stuff before you go into the light. You're also shown your life, people, for real. You're going to be shown everything about your experiences and the errors you made and the misperceptions and the beliefs. All of that will be shown to you. Okay. And you can also bypass that. Some people don't go into the light. Some people stay here. This is why we have a bunch of dead people inside of everybody's bodies. Okay. So no, it's not just love and light when you die. It's like face yourself. It's about, connecting with other souls. It's about sometimes connecting with people still on the earth plane. Ultimately, we want to go into the light. And the best way to do that is when you see that light, go to the light. Okay, alrighty. What? Okay, hang on. Okay, how do I overcome others' judgments of me and not get affected or care what they think of me? Good question. All right. Again, this is for everyone. This is for everyone, okay? Everyone, you're being judged all the time, okay? It's happening. No matter what, you're being judged for how your hair looks or how skinny or fat you are, words you say, everything about you, somebody's going to judge you, all right? So here's the thing. Everything is about us, about me, about you, okay? Your world, your life, your experiences are all about you, okay? And when we have concerns about, when we have these reactions in our body, worrying about people being judged, it's hitting a deeper wound inside. So here's what we want to do. No matter what, people, if you're being judged, you're having an emotional reaction. Okay, a little bit ago, I was talking about how do we unravel these emotions. Okay, this is the same thing. If you're feeling judged, drop into how it makes you feel. This is how you're going to unravel these emotions where you believe you got hurt, where you believe you're a victim, where you're still holding on to all your misperceptions, conclusions, and beliefs that simply are not true. Okay, so in order to clear and no longer be concerned about what anybody thinks about you or says about you, okay, drop in, go after the emotions, how it makes you feel. You might feel sad, you might feel incompetent, you might feel forsaken. No matter what you feel, go into that, have it all the way, all the way. Here's the key. If you got little mind thoughts thinking, you're not unraveling. Okay, if you're in thoughts, memory, if you're telling the story, nothing is unraveling, people. This is so vital to understand. If you're in your story, if you're in your thoughts, nothing's unraveling. The way to unravel is you have to become that energy. So if you're having people judging you, you want to be done with that, you want to be done with your own reactions to that, then go in and feel what it feels like to be judged and clear that broken place, that hurt place, that heartache that's still in you. And I promise you, if you unravel it, you won't care what anybody's thinking about you. Okay? That's the beauty of doing our inner work. If you really do it and you're really clear, you're done. See, people, that's what we're doing here. We're here on planet Earth, interacting with all our soul family, unraveling all the wounding that we still hold on to, so that we can be free of it and move on and keep on going. Maybe we want to, maybe we want to be done with planet Earth. Maybe we want to do something different. Okay, but Basically, it's a simple thing, and yet it's extremely challenging and good luck without help. Okay. Aha. That's a good. All right. Here's another one. What is the difference between emoting and unraveling the broken place? Okay. The difference is this. I have to tell this story. It's a crack up. So this is back in what 90s. I used to take people to. I used to take people on retreats, and we would do all these things. But anyway, so we're out at the beach. We're in Hawaii. I got my back to this one woman. She's over pounding the sand, yelling and screaming. And I turn around and go, "Hey, Caroline." She lifts her hand and goes, "Huh?" She was not in the emotion. She was emoting. She was making a lot of noise. Okay. Also, people can cry and they just keep crying, making a lot of noise, but it looks like they're really going through it, but they're not really connected to the actual emotion. Okay. So the difference when I talk about people doing their actual true unraveling, if you are in your head, in your thoughts, if you're telling the story, if you're even aware of your surroundings, you're not unraveling, people. You're emoting. Okay. True unraveling happens when you lose the mind. Let's just say I had a big experience and I'm feeling all this emotion. Okay. Now I could go around and cry for years and years and years over that. I'm attached to the story. I'm spinning the story, and all I'm doing is just spinning out that whole story, and nothing ever changes. Now, let's just say, okay, I finally wake up to that, and now this time, instead of just spinning in the story, the thinking, I drop into the emotion so that I am that emotion. There's no other thought. I don't even know where I am. I don't even know if there's anybody around me. I am that emotion so fully that nothing else exists but that emotion. This is how you know yourself in an emotion, is you become it. The moment you have a thought, you're no longer there. The moment you're aware of your surroundings, you're no longer there. Okay, people, here's the thing. I learned this back in the 80. Well, actually I learned it before that. But I really got it in the 80s. Like in the early 80s, I finally broke stuff within my own self by doing the emotional work. Okay. And it changed my reality. Once I knew that, once I did that, my unraveling, my whole life, I could unravel most everything. You have a reaction, go after that reaction. There's an emotion, surrender to that emotion, keep going until there's nothing there, until there's no longer a charge in your body. Occasionally we do need help because sometimes there's things we can't quite find. They're really buried. They're in the subconscious, and we do surrender, but we're not getting it. Then that means get help. I get help. Okay. I see my accelerators. If I need help, that's where I go. Okay. And I just had a couple sessions, okay, to unravel some stuff that was presenting after I got scammed. So the big scam. So not ever did I feel like I was a victim. No, ever did I blame them. No, I knew I called it in because I understand the teachings. I know the higher truths. All right. Okay, hang on. What was that? There was something here. Ryan said something. Okay, so what was that? Cynthia's saying something here. Okay, what Raya. Okay. Okay, so what Cynthia's saying is there's a huge difference between the group clearings and a one-on-one session. It doesn't even compare. The group clearings are incredible, but some things you need personal help. That's actually true, people. Cynthia, my girl. She's my girl. So Cynthia, we did some work and, she feels different. I just wanted to bring that in here. Yeah, but people, here's the thing. Group clearings are exactly that. They're for a group. I'm not going deep. I'm not focusing on one person. I'm doing a blanket clearing, okay? And when you go topic specific, like our vault has 275 videos of clearings. You can find any topic in there, and sometimes there's several topics. Like, for example, mother issues. We have the abusive mother, the mother who abandoned you. I mean, we have many, many, and each one's different because it's addressing a different issue. Okay, find what you need and use that group clearing specifically, or get a clearing with one of the accelerators, or even myself. Okay. Yeah, and then also too, people, there's always, if you find where I'm doing my interviews, you're going to find free clearings that are astounding. Like the last one I did with Darius, which was just a few weeks ago. I mean, he was just so blown away. He's going, that was the most powerful clearing, ever in the entire world. He said, I can't even remember what he said, but it was massive. And so was the one before that, which was only 2 weeks before that. So if you go to UWealth, you'll find the replays of my stuff. Monsef, I'm sure. Cynthia, I'm not sure. Do we have these kind of things on our website? If we don't, we really should. You know what I mean? Like all of our interviews that have all that stuff, we need to have those so people can find them. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, I'm coming back, looking at some questions. We've got some. Okay. Emotional storage. Okay, what is this? Hang on, what is this? Are emotions stored in subconscious? Sensations, access to unconsciousness. What's in super? Oh, I think I did that. Yeah, I did that. Sorry. Okay, people. All right. Okay, so we also have people. If you want to get our, if you want to get the interviews that I've had, we have a lot, and every one of them has a clearing. They're on our YouTube channel under our playlist. The YouTube channel is, what is the YouTube channel? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just look for Bonnie Serratore. You'll find it. Yeah, okay, hang on. Is there a clearing for afraid of hope or fear of the rug? Yes, we have that. We actually we have more than one. Yes. It may not be like afraid for, wait, is there a clearing for afraid hope? I'm thinking, yeah, we'll have something where you're blocking and afraid to open yourselves up, but also the rug getting pulled out. We have more than one of those. I know because I remember doing them. Yeah, here's something too, like what Cynthia's saying. Some things can be completely cleared with the group clearings. It's actually true. Other things you do need personal help, like if there's something specific. Like, sometimes people we get sorry. We'll do a semi-private, and the topic could be something like, let's just say like spring into miracles or whatever. And then I'll get people saying, yeah, I'm being attacked by all this darkness and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like, I like to stay topic specific. It just makes it easier to do the whole thing. And sometimes people just, they just want help and they're going to try to get it any way they can. Okay, what is this? I had a semi-private and I was having a back and forth. It was tense, major heart opening. Yeah. People, okay. Yeah, okay. So sometimes we have big experiences when we have, because I'm moving energy out of your body that's been there probably for lifetimes, okay? We start moving this energy out and you can have really intense experiences, okay? And looking at the end, it's like major heart opening. Yeah, how cool is that? So people, healing isn't like, let's just go have fun. No, it's about, you're going to have experiences. Your body's going to have experiences. You're going to have emotions, okay? Okay, this is a good one. Here's a good one, okay? So Cynthia's saying, like my food cravings weren't a big deal, so that's gone from the group clearings. But bigger issues for her, she needs more than a group clearing. So what she's basically saying is, people, a lot can happen on a group clearing. Like today, we've got spring into miracles, okay? I'll be moving lots of energy that you've got blocking, so you can't have miracles. And we're going to open things up so that you can. Yes, and we do have a clearing waiting for their shoe to drop. Okay, so that's happening. So people can get those. Okay, let me just see. Afraid of hope. I'm just going back here. Alrighty. Talked about oh yeah. The well of grief. Okay, yes. Yeah. The well of grief. See, everybody's got a well of grief. I discovered this way back when I first started, when I opened my practice in 84. Yeah, that first year, I found that well of grief inside of clients. So yes, I'm not sure where that one would be. Maybe Cynthia might know where that one is, where the well of grief. You know, sometimes, I mean, actually, I do a lot of clearings. I am working in the well of grief, but I think there's a specific one on well of grief. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, let me just see if there's any other things in here. Job and others. Come on. Okay. Comment. Okay. Good clearings. What was that? Okay. Okay. Here was another one. Okay. I've tried your group clearings around betrayal and grief. How do I completely cure this forever? Okay. Okay. So betrayal and grief. These again, we're talking emotions. All right. So I was talking earlier about how we do this. This is the same thing. You have betrayal. You drop into what that feels like. Again, drop the mind, become the emotion, all the way through heartache, heartbreak, grief, sad, despair, anguish, helpless, hopeless. All these emotions will be presenting when you have betrayal. The key is all the way down, all the way through, people. Surrender completely, all the way until there's nothing left. It'll be like, it'll come in waves. You know, you have heartache, heartbreak, betrayal, deep, and then you have a little bit of a rest, and then all of a sudden more energy will start to move. You'll know you're done when you can't find any thought around being betrayed. When you think about the betrayal that happened to you, you go looking for it. I mean, you can remember it, but there's no energy charge around it. The energy's gone. The charge is gone. Okay. When that's happened, game over. Okay. You got it. You learned it. Finally, after what? 847 lifetimes. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me just see if there's any more questions. Any more here? Okay, yeah. Okay, right there. Okay, what is this? Okay, hang on. I tend to overdo. If I do clearings too often, is it possible to get detox symptoms? I'm just impatient. Maybe there is a clearing on impatience. We have clearings on impatience, right? But that, you know, you're trying too hard, okay? So the thing is, answering your question, some people do have detox because depending on what the issue is, depending on what's getting cleared, people do have stuff because when you're moving a lot of energy out of the body is detoxing, and sometimes you can go into an overload. Okay, the thing to do, just back down, stop doing it, and then, you know, you can start over again. And, you know, if you got an overdue, there's something in there that's causing you to have that behavior. All right. Again, people, do your, you know, get clearing, get private clearing, you know, do the group clearings. If it doesn't get it, then do personal private clearings. I'm telling you, people, it's amazing. It's like magic. Stuff shifts. It's so cool. Game over. Done. Okay. All righty. So, yeah. Yes. Okay. Just so y'all know, yes, they are cheaper than I am. They are. It's actually true. And they are good. We got some amazing people. Amazing. Okay. Yeah. So check them out. All right, everyone. I'm going to head out because we have the group clearing on Spring into Miracles in half an hour. Hope I'll see you there. All righty. Till next time.